Hi everybody, this is Doug Walker, and this video is going to explain how to play some of the mechanics of the board game Successors, the fourth edition, but also I'm playing the To the Strongest variant. It's a somewhat simplified variant that you can find on BoardGameGeek.com. All right, so we're going to go through the sequence of play and just look at what a turn looks like in Successors. There's 6 phases in each turn. Most of them are quite short. The first one here, I can pull up a list here. The first phase is the preparations phase, and so in this phase there are certain events that activate across in specific turns. So you activate those. Secondly, you label the usurper, and thirdly, you determine player order. So the usurper is the player with the most victory points. So you can see the way I've set it up now, this is legitimacy and this is victory points. The blue player has the most victory points because pretty much anyone who controls Aegyptus at the start or Egypt is going to have the most. That's where Ptolemaeus is. And so blue is the usurper. What that means is you can attack the blue player, but only the blue player, without losing your status as a champion, which gives you 3 legitimacy. So anyone who attacks the blue player will have to discard this 3 legitimacy token because they are no longer a champion. And then determining player order, the person with the lowest amount of victory points is starts the game, and actually these two were both at 4, I believe, and so I determined randomly that it will be red, and so that's the preparation phase. Then you've got the reinforcement phase. During the reinforcement phase, you return all dispersed generals from the dispersed box and place them at a location with your political control marker or your PC. Now, the generals and units become dispersed when they're defeated in battle. Most of them don't die, they actually are dispersed, and you'll get them the next turn. Then you get 2 mercenary CUs, which stands for combat unit, and those are placed on the first space of the training track. The training track is on your player card. It's the numbered boxes around the edge that go from 1 to 7. So you place them on the 1 box, and then they can move up to the 2 higher boxes. When they get to the 3 box, they can be put on the map as a mercenary. If they get to the 7 box, they can be put on the map as a loyal Macedonian unit. Then you get bonuses. So if you control Macedonia, you get 1 loyal Macedonian combat unit. And then if you have the most legitimacy points, you also get, that player also gets a loyal Macedonian combat unit. If there's a tie, it's based on seniority, which is the number on the bottom right in white of each general. So a lower number is worse. Antipatros is pretty high, so he has a lot of seniority, and so the seniority breaks ties. And then the person with the most victory points gains 2 mercenary combat units on the 1 space of the training track. If there's 2 people who are tied, or 2 or more people, they all get +1 mercenary combat unit. Then you shuffle the Tiki cards and deal 7 to each player. That's the Tiki card phase. Then you have the strategy phase, which is the longest phase of the turn. It lasts 7 rounds. Okay, so what you do is each player will take a round, starting with the first player, and then you go around the table, either clockwise or counterclockwise. The first player can determine that each turn. And you do these 3 things, and then it goes to the next player, and that person does these 3 things, and it goes to the next player, and that person does these 3 things. And you do that till everyone's taken 7 kind of turns. The 3 things that you do are reinforcements, TK card, and activation. So reinforcements mean you move your combat units up 1 on the training track. So for the red player, every round, so 7 times per turn, you're going to move these up a spot. And then again, when they get to 3, they can be put on the map as a mercenary. When they get if one of them gets up here to the 7 spot, you can convert it into a loyal Macedonian unit. Okay, but they always start on this 1 spot and they have to move up sequentially. So you do that, and then you play a tiki card if you want to. The tiki cards allow you to do a variety of things, which I'll get into in a minute. And then you activate all of your major generals. If you don't have any major generals, you can move one minor general. So you always start out with 2 major generals, so most players will have that for most of the game. Then after everyone's taken 7 rounds of this, you move on to the isolation phase, which I won't describe right now, but basically if your political control is too far away from a city or an army that you control and it's cut off from an army or a city, it's going to be removed from the map. Then the final phase of the turn is the turn end phase, and this is where you move the game turn marker to the right, and then people also have the ability to bury Alexander's body, and then you determine if anybody has won an in-game victory. So that's how you do it, and I'm just going to run through a couple of actions here to show you how it works. So as the red player, you've got all of these different Taiki cards, but the first thing I do is I move my reinforcements up from the 1 spot to the 2 spot. Then I look at my Taiki cards, and probably right now, what I want to do is just play something for the to gain political control on the map. So when you play a Taiki card, you can either play the text on the card, which is on the bottom, or you can play the op number, which is that number on the top. Now, if it's a yellow card, you can do both. If it has a yellow bar on the top, you can do both. You can get the ops and you play that event. Okay, I'm going to play this 23,000 Greek soldiers. That means Phylon. Uh, I'm not sure where Phylon is on the map. The Greek colonist independent army. Oh, so he's over here. Okay, so he now moves onto the map. He is now active. I'm going to put him right here. And then you will he gets 3 MPs. So he starts with 1 MP, he gets 3 MPs, and I haven't really explained this yet, but I'm going to use 2 MPs on the red player. So I'm going to use 2 MPs to remove this political control marker from that spot. So he has removed the black player's political control. So this will now go back into the black player's bag, and so that was that. I did the event on the card, but now it's a bonus action because it has a yellow bar on the top. So now I'm going to uh, use that for uh, either. Well, here's what you can do with the Taiki cards. So if you want to use the op number, there's actually only really 2 things you can do with it in this version of the game. One thing you can do with it is you can place PC markers, or these colored round discs markers onto empty spots. They have to be within 1 movement point of a space that contains either your PC or your major general. And we haven't gone over movement points, but basically it's the regular lines. If you look, there's also these dotted lines. Those are actually 2 movement points, and so PC cannot spread over those. So I'm going to do that, except I'm kind of boxed in. Let's see. This is actually an uncontrolled space. There's a Cleopatra is there in Sardis, so you can pick her up. with an event card. Okay, so I have three ops, right? So the ops on here are three. You can see that on the top. So what I do is I take three of my tokens and I place them on there, there, and there. Now you can see I can't actually go to Lesbos because it's not within one movement point of it's two movement points because it's there's a dotted line there. So that is the red player's turn. So now I discard this. I put this in the discard pile. And it is now, I'm going to say we're going to go clockwise. So now it's going to be the green player's turn. So I'm playing I'm playing all of these players for now. So the green player controls Perdiccas, who's in Babylon. He's one of the most senior. He's the most senior of the generals. He's kind of the regent, and then Eumenes, who was a Greek general, not Macedonian, but rather Greek, and he's in Cappadocia. Um, and so I need to, again, first, what you do is you go to you do the reinforcements, and you move these guys up to the 2 spot. Now I can play a Taiki card. And, oh, sorry, I forgot. I did not activate the red general. So you first, before you move on to the next player, you activate the red general, the major generals. I've got one here, and so you give them movement points equal to a die roll minus your uh, initiative rating. So you should already know what the initiative rating is, but it's this, it's the black number in the white circle there on the left. So Antigonus is 2, which is actually good. You want the initiative rating to be lower. So I'm going to activate Antigonus. I'm going to grab a die. I'm going to roll it. It's a 6. Maybe I'll just roll it again just to make sure. Oh, it's still a 6. So it's a 6 minus 2 because that is his initiative. 6 minus 2 is 4. So he's going to get 4 movement points. And so I have a card as the red player. I have a card that allows me to get Cappadocian mercenaries. And so if I need to have a place with a PC in Cappadocia that's unoccupied by enemy combat units. And so I understand that Eumenes is right here, but I'm going to move Antigonus. So that's 1 movement point. This is 2 movement points. And then I have 2 more. So I can remove someone else's political control marker for 2 movement points. That's one of the actions you can do. So for my 2 remaining movement points, I'm going to remove the green political control marker, and I do not place my own. I can place my own later, but that is my move for Antigonus. Now I go to Leonatus, who has an initiative rating of 3. Again, it's the black number in the white circle. So I go over to my die. I'm going to roll the die again, and it's a 1. So they always get a minimum of 1 for their movement, and so uh, he's going to get 1 movement point. I also have Thracian mercenaries, so I need to get him over to Thrace so I can play the Thracian mercenary card. So I'm going to move him over the water. I'm sorry, that costs 2 to move. So actually, I cannot move him over there. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I guess I won't activate him because he doesn't have really enough movement points to do anything. Okay, so that's the red player's turn. I'll just take one more turn here, maybe just to show you this would be the green player. So the green player has his cards. So I think I already moved the reinforcements up to the training thing on the training track. This card would allow me to gain 2 mercenary units somewhere in Asia, which Asia is anything that's kind of yellow or orange here. Africa's red and Greece is green. But uh, so I have 2 provinces in Asia, so I could get that, but the problem is you also lose 2 legitimacy, so I don't want to do that. I can activate the Scythian invasion if I want to. This is called a bonus card. It doesn't have an op number, and so I can't play it. But this says I can draw 1 Tiki card at random from another player's hand, and that other player gets to draw 1. So I'm actually going to play that right now. So a bonus card you can play whenever it says you can play it, and this one actually says you have to play it on your player turn, which it is. So I'm going to discard it. I'm going to I'll just steal one of Blue's cards, which is Thessaloniki offers marriage. I'm going to take it into my hand, and then I'm going to deal another card to Blue. So he got, I can't see it here. I guess I can, if I want to, I can do that. So it's Cretan Archers. He got a Cretan Archers card. So I can do that, and I don't need to um, uh, that's just free. I can do those anytime I want to because they're called bonus cards. Uh, okay, so now I might actually play this turn. Let's see, Thessaloniki. I'm actually pretty close to her. Um, so this is no, that's Cleopatra. Never mind. So I'm not close to Thessaloniki. Um, she is over here. She's way over there, so I can't get to her. So I will. I mean, I probably won't activate that, but I will play this card. So I'll play this card for 3 ops. I can't. I mean, the bonus doesn't matter. This is a bonus card because it has an orange stripe at the top. So I'm going to play it for 3 ops. And basically, there's a lot of empty stuff on the board here. And so I want to start controlling that and spreading my influence. That's really a good move earlier in the game. So I'm going to put 1 right here. I'm going to put 1 right there. And I'm going to put 1 right there. So I'm just trying to spread my influence. And then now I get to activate both of my major generals. Perdiccas has a initiative rating of 3, so I'm going to roll the die. And it's 5. 5 minus 3 is 2, so he gets 2 movement points. And he's right here. And I think I'm just going to move him to this transit point right here. So that's 1, 2 to move him there. I'm not 100% sure what my strategy is at this point. The other one is Eumenes, the Greek. He's going to get 4 movement points because it's 6 minus 2 is 4. So, sorry, 4 minus, he's a 3, never mind. So, I mean, he's going to get 3 movement points. So what I could do is do a battle, but I don't think I'm going to do a battle right now. Well, maybe I'll set up a battle and then I'll do a separate video for that. So I move 1, 2. I've got both of these. Maybe I'll put him just right here so you know he's there. And that would set up a battle. And that is the green player's turn. So you would do that. The next it would be blue, then it would be black, and that would be 1 round of a turn. Then you take 7 of those rounds, and then the strategy phase would be over. So each turn is going to take an hour or something, right? So, or maybe less. Like, I mean, obviously, a lot of it depends on what is going on and how fast players are moving. But the strategy phase, you go around, you move your just to summarize again, every strategy phase, first you move these reinforcements up the track, then you play a Taiki card, then you activate generals on the map, and they get movement points, and they can move, battle, siege, or do other or remove enemy political control markers.